Good evening and salutations, my Jade fans. So let's start off with Lois and Geo for a minute, because ever since that whole remark that one woman made, she's been super self-conscious about her accent, which is really odd because you would think at some point somebody else, probably in her lifetime, have said something about her accent, but now she's super self-conscious. She snipped to asking Gio if, her accent's really bad, and she's talking about changing her accent because, she'll boost sales and this, that, and the third. And Gio, just like me, is like, that's who you are, you know? Like, that's who you are. And you shouldn't sit there and be ashamed of that. Like, that's ridiculous, especially based off of one person, one nobody that you're never going to see again. Honestly, tell you the truth, that's fair. And on top of that, when she sat there and she saw the reports, they were great numbers. But in her mind, she's sitting there talking about how, she can get even better numbers. And so she calls this, I guess, speech coach or whatever to sit there and help her. And it just seems kind of, I don't want to sit there and say kind of dumb, because I know that people, matter if it's their voice, their looks, or whatever, they feel subconscious about something. But it's just like, really? Like, this is all because of one woman, one bitchy woman that she had a call from, and now she's totally thrown off. I don't know, it just seems a little kind of extra to me. Like, they couldn't have given her a better story than her being ashamed now out of 40, 50 something years of her grown ass adult life, and now she's suddenly ashamed of her action because of one person. Um, so, Lucky got himself thrown in that prison to rescue this doctor. Um, and there's a point where he's talking about how he wants to be a mercenary, gun for hire. This guy gives him a loyalty test and brings in the doctor. It's like, I want you to shoot him. So, of course, he pulls the trigger and nothing happens because, unbeknownst to everyone, he knew that the gun wasn't loaded based off of the weight. Of course, that doctor was still not happy, wanted to punch him in the face. Um, So he's like, listen, I'm gonna get you out. And the one thing that I noticed about this scene, and I've been watching this since high school, and maybe I don't know, I never really picked up on it. But he seems to be acting a lot like Luke Spencer, going in without a plan. Even with the whole gun thing, he could have been wrong. Like, the guy was like, okay, well, I mean, what if it was one bullet? You might not be able to tell. It's like, oh, we just kind of hope for the best. So he just seems like he's more shooting from the hip. Very interested to sit there and see how he's going to get out of wherever he's at. Now, a lot of this stuff is very Lulu centric, but before I get to that, I'm very curious because I've been sitting there thinking about this for a couple of days. So there's a point where Brooklyn and Chase are talking about, well, Brooklyn and her past with Lulu and the pregnancy and just all their drama, right? And Yuri just comes out of nowhere and asks him, "Is everyone okay?" And talking about Violet. Now, my whole thing is, at some point is going to be 30 days, and Finn is going to get out that rehab. So what are they going to wind up doing with the Violet character? Like, Hayden isn't around, unless they decide to just, I don't know, get somebody else to play Finn. What's going to wind up happening with the character? Most of the stuff is that Brooklyn talks about is, if you've been watching it for a while, you know about it. Like I said, the terminating her pregnancy, the whole thing with Brooklyn trying to seduce Dante away from Lulu, all their crazy stuff. Um, Now, going into Portia, long story short, Lulu has this cirrhosis of the liver because she's been taking the same medication for so long that it just started to mess her up. So they can't, they can treat the symptoms, but she's going to need a transplant. And Portia tries to set Laura up with Nicholas to sit there and see if he can help. We all know it's going to end up being Lucky, and I'm just surprised that. Well, I mean, I guess she's gonna sit there and try to, do that or whatever. But I guess I'm just kind of surprised that she's not going out to try to find where Lucky's at. Like, not that long ago, she was literally sitting there searching half the globe to find Nicholas. Now you need Lucky for a transplant, and you're going to go to Penville first, knowing that most likely she needs a full match. So I'm just kind of curious why she would go there first, especially if Porsche already set it up. It would just make more sense for her to go where he last was and start trying to look from there. Um, Sam and Dante didn't really talk about much. They just talked about Lulu and Sam just being more supportive and being like, "Hey, listen, I get it. Y'all two aren't together, but y'all share a child, and it's always going to be a piece of her heart inside of you. And I'm not going to sit there and knock that." Which I mean, in all reality, what else could she really say? Now, Brennan gets Carly, gets some people to escort Carly to the office and tells her that I'm using you to get to Jason. Jason shows up. Carly's pissed off. So she winds up leaving. It's like, nah, he wants to sit there and take her out to dinner to make it up. And she's like, nah, I'm good. So she leaves. Jason knew, and I don't know how, but he knew that it was Brendan that took care of the evidence. And long story short, Brendan wants Jason to work for him. Do pretty much enforcer stuff except for him. He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not interested. And so eventually Jack is like, okay, fine. You don't have to decide right now, but think about it. Now I hope that he doesn't use something against Carly's past to sit there and make him, force him to sit there and do all this dirty work or whatever for him. Carly goes to Anna, sit there and ask what is Brenda's agenda, and just ask him for just general help. And I'm kind of just sitting there looking at it like, in reality, Anna doesn't actually have to help you. Like, she really doesn't. She went out her way and even made remarks like, hey, listen, just to let you know, Yatu was the people that put yourself in this position in the first place. But she wants to do it for her own purposes. She also called in Robert to try to help find Valentine, or Charlotte and Luke and Laura. I'm wondering if Holly's going to have to be tied into this somehow, because I know that Holly's supposed to be coming back at some point. They got a lot of people coming back. At first, when he was talking about the Black Doctor or whatever, I thought it was going to be Andre Maddox. It's kind of a shame that they're not bringing him back. I mean, I guess we'll sit there and see what this guy can do, but I think most people would have been more happy if it was Andre. And Tracy comes to sit there and see Lulu and practically tells her the same thing that Dante was sitting there saying before Sam came in. It's to sit there and keep fighting and hang on and everything like that, because they always say whenever somebody's in a coma, they can hear them. They can't move or anything like that, but they can hear their voices, telling them to hold on and fight and everything like that. That is the general. That's the general about General Hospital. That's the gist of the episode. It wasn't super good. It wasn't terrible, but it's definitely one of those things where you could sit there and skip, or at least skip certain parts. I think for me, probably like the Lucky stuff was interesting, and most of it was just kind of so-so. But if it was anything that you like, let me know in the comment section, and hopefully I'll get done with everything in time, and I can do my live stream tonight So if I miss anything here, you can also come to the live stream. And I'm not exactly sure what time, so I will be posting it on community tab. Also, anything that I missed, just let me know in the comment section anyway. And I'll see you in the next video.